This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Friday, June 12. Two soldiers are nursing injuries after an explosion rocked the Paragon base of the Barbados Defence Force and surrounding communities just after 11 o'clock this morning. Residents told Barbados Today they heard a big boom and in some instances their houses shook, and then they saw thick smoke.
I was in my bed watching TV and all of a sudden I just hear this blast, boom! When I look through the window, I see some big black dark smoke. I was like, oh my God, a plane blow up. So me and my neighbor, we come out and he dropped me out there and we see all the smoke. It sent things to my ears. So then I went to here, you see all the ambulance and everything and the fire trucks and everything. They say that the place by the BDF, the bomb thing, they blow. So they say they had fireworks and everything before the big bomb.
I was outside the road staying up, and then I was looking down the road and I look back. I see here this boom. I feel it in my heart area. It's a boom. Then it's I see a cloud, a base of the smoke coming out. I thought that somebody dropped a bomb on Barbados, how it explodes. Then I see all the firecrackers start flying all about and going in that direction. And I just start hollering for my sisters and them and telling them, oh God, something happened at Paragon. I said, somebody got to be died at Paragon.
Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes told reporters the situation was brought quickly under control.
Apparently, some fireworks and other explosive devices are normally stored there in a number of containers. And for some reason, still on investigation, there was an explosion. Two persons at this time were injured. The extent of their injuries, we're not fully aware. They've gone off to QEH. Examination, we have personnel at QEH who will update us as to the extent of those injuries.
The Paragon compound is also the base for the Regional Security System, a section of the Barbados Defence Force, and the Quarantine Centre for COVID-19 patients. Health and Wellness Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, who is also a member of the Defence Board and the National Security Council, assured that the quarantine centre was not affected.
I'm really sorry about what happened, and I can give the assurance that Paragon is a very large compound and that the quarantine centre, which is located at Paragon, was not in the area of the explosion or the incident, and that all persons, staff as well as the patients down there, they are quite well and they were not impacted in any way at all. They were quite safe. They did not have to evacuate and we don't have any issues with them whatsoever.
In other news, one man was injured in a shooting incident at Browns Gap Sergeant's Village, Christchurch. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes says investigations are continuing.
Around 2:35 p.m. this afternoon, our police department, Hastings Worthings, they received a report that that there were gunshots in the area here at Browns Gap Sergeant Village. That patrol responded. On arrival, there's one individual who was shot, and I can give his name. The family and everyone has consented to give his name. Jamar Emmanuel Paulin. He's 32 years and he lives in this area. Bartlett Tenantry Road, just a few meters away from where we stand. And he stated he was riding through the area when he was shot in his right leg, the rear of his neck, and his left ankle. He was taken away for medical attention by ambulance, and as you can see, police are still here carrying their investigations, forensics, and everything else as we would normal protocol.
With Barbados on the cusp of a full reopening come Monday, Health Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic assures the country is ready. Praising Barbadians for adhering to the protocols, he says the government is on top of the situation.
Except for those 4 confirmed cases, the last 4 cases which came from the United States, we have not seen a case, and we've been testing. Right now it is not even easy to get people to come forward for testing. So we based on the evidence, based on the science, we are satisfied that we are on top of things locally, and that is why we actually gave our support to the reopening of the country, because life has to go on, the economy has to rebound, and Barbadians have done very well. They've cooperated, and there's no need for us to be keeping people housed up if we are not seeing cases. But we have the flexibility to be able to escalate if necessary based on what is happening, but we are satisfied that right now that we are on top of things.
Scores of Jamaicans are preparing to head home after being stuck in Barbados for months as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, the Caribbean Airlines office at Norman Center was a hive of activity as UWI KFIL students, CARICOM skilled nationals, and other Jamaican visitors waited to purchase their tickets. The UWI campuses in Barbados, Trinidad, and Jamaica are reportedly coordinating the trip, which will allow citizens of each country to get home on the three-legged journey. President of the Students' Guild at the UWI, Tasha Loughton, however, raised concern that Caribbean Airlines had imposed a penalty fee on travelers whose return tickets had been cancelled by the carrier in March.
It's actually 26 of us going home tomorrow, and the process was a little bit tedious from signing up on the Jam COVID site in Jamaica to getting approval, but it's finally done. It's finally done, and we're here. Yesterday we actually came at Caribbean Airlines yesterday, and they basically registered us and took our reference number that we got approval from, authorization from Jamaica, and so today we're here to pay for the tickets. I'm a little bit disappointed, and why I'm a little bit disappointed is because the students, they had, based on communication from Caribbean Airlines, and these are students who already had tickets to return over mid-May. They were told that there will be no penalty, but upon arriving here, they have to pay the penalty, which I find really not in accordance with what was communicated to the students before. We actually have to pay $1,200 for this trip, and I'm talking about students who didn't have a return ticket. And I mean, that's fine because it's a special flight, it's a special arranged chartered flight, so we understand that the cost would have been out of the norm. But I don't think Caribbean Airlines facilitated the students who already had tickets, and this was not their fault. So I'm very disgruntled. I'm very disgruntled.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back to regional news. 2 Jamaican police officers were killed and 2 others remain in serious condition following a violent attack this morning in Horizon Park near Spanish Town in St. Catherine. The cops were on an operation in search of wanted men and firearms when they were attacked. More in this report from Kurt Wright of TVJ News.
Gunmen were in a house and they came sometime about 5 o'clock in the morning. He wasn't prepared to say much, but highly placed sources, police sources, told us that the police went there in search, and it appears if the grill to the premises was locked. But then, when they tried to gain entry, they were fired upon. At this moment, it appears if it's only one man who challenged them, but we cannot confirm. But based on what we're hearing from police sources, it appears if one man challenged them, but he had a high-powered weapon and lots of ammunition.
On the international scene in the United States, governors of states deemed as COVID-19 hotspots are pressing ahead with the reopening of businesses and easing restrictions, despite mounting fears over a second wave of infections. We get the details from Reuters Television.
About half a dozen U.S. states are now grappling with a rising number of coronavirus patients filling hospital beds, fanning fears over a second wave of infections in a pandemic that has already killed more than 113,000 Americans. But state governors in COVID-19 hotspots are pressing ahead with reopenings. On Thursday, Florida reported its highest daily tally of new cases, just as Governor Ron DeSantis announced schools would resume at full capacity in the fall.
We've been able to provide a roadmap to announce the return of our schools to on-campus instruction.
North Carolina reported record COVID-19 hospitalizations for the 5th straight day, a day after state lawmakers passed a bill reopening gyms, fitness centers, and bars. Arizona's governor said the state is pressing ahead with reopening despite figures showing coronavirus cases up over 200% in the last 2 weeks.
We've got an increase in testing, an increase in cases, and an increase in positive test results.
Dr. Matt Hines is an internist at a Tucson hospital.
We're going into that surge capacity now, and this is a problem. Please take this seriously. We did predict this, and we could have prevented it if we had taken the appropriate steps.
The recent spike in cases partially reflects increased testing, but many of these states are also seeing rising hospitalizations, and some are beginning to run short on ICU beds. A second wave of coronavirus deaths is expected to hit in the United States in September, according to research by the University of Washington.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.